forward to this. Hi, everyone. It's Amanda Rieger Green. Welcome to Soul Sessions. Thank you for joining me today. If you are new to this podcast, welcome. This podcast is for seekers of all sizes and in all walks of your journey. So if you are wanting to enrich your life, grow, and expand, you're at home. And I explore all the mysteries that are sacred about who we are, why we are, and how we show up highly authentic and through our higher selves. I'm a psychic medium, an intuitive, a numerologist, astrologist, and many more things. But what I am here for is to help astound you with your innate abilities. And if that sounds at home to you, then you're in the right place. And thank you for joining me. Today, we're going to talk about Mercury retrograde because we've got a Mercury retrograde coming up at the end of 2024. We're just going to close it out with a bang and we're going to get it pushed on a little bit more. But I'm so here for this, and I want you to be here for this because I think it is this really hysterical cosmic joke divine setup because it's going to be glitchy. It's going to be weird. That's what Mercury retrograde is. Mercury will retrograde in Sagittarius, and it'll be in Sagittarius its entire retrograde. So it's all the themes of Sag, and we'll talk about that. But Mercury retrogrades on November 25th at 22 degrees of Sagittarius at 9:42 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be retrograde from the 25th of November through the 15th of December. And it stations direct on the 15th of December at 6 degrees at 3:56 p.m. Eastern Time. So November 25th through the 16th. So just remember the couple of days before Mercury retrograde and the couple of days around its stationing direct. So like the 13th, 14th of December through the 16th, 17th, those are like the pressure points where you just want to like take it easy, live and let live, pack a little bit of extra time in your schedule, be patient with yourself and others because Mercury retrogrades do create glitches, IT glitches, scheduling glitches, miscommunications. So it's easier to just go with the flow. If somebody doesn't show up for a meeting or you have a flat tire on the side of the interstate and you're late for a meeting and all the things are piling up, life happens. And that's one of the beautiful things about Mercury retrograde. It teaches us to relinquish a little bit of control and be flexible, especially in our minds, because Mercury governs the mind. Mercury is the planet of information gathering and sharing, communication. And I usually say this because this is the clarity I have around Mercury and feeling the energies and the vibrational exchange between the gravitational pull of Mercury and planet Earth. And when it stations retrograde, it is asking us to really look back and review. And you can put re in front of anything because you're reviewing or revising. But to me, my favorite re in Mercury retrograde is to recognize, recognize, because Mercury is about cognition. It's about intelligence. It's about how we think about things and we conceptualize and articulate things. So it's about recognition. And the word that came to me as I was just channeling and tapping into this energy, especially in Sagittarius, is epiphany. This is a time of epiphany. And it's funny because in the Christian calendar, if you know what epiphany is, it's funny how things fall in step, right? But it is a time of epiphany. It's a time of aha. Oh, I get it. I didn't get it until I was backed into a corner and all of a sudden I had to dig deep. Boom. There's the epiphany. There's the divine insight. I got it now. I understand it. And that's what this retrograde is doing to us. It is really pinpointing beliefs and our philosophies of life as they are today, as they have evolved in us, especially over the course of this year. Mercury rules Gemini, the air sign of Gemini, and the earth sign of Virgo. So it is about thinking and information gathering and sharing. With Mercury in Gemini, it's about communication, like literal verbal communication, listening, communicating, gathering facts, data, details. In Virgo, Mercury is about the practical application of the information you're synthesizing. So it's how you take practical steps with the information you have, how you make things happen literally, practically. The reason I'm sharing that is because the opposite of Gemini, the polarity of Gemini, is Sagittarius. This is an important retrograde, and I love the polarity of Gemini and Sagittarius, because Gemini is about the data, the details, the investigative journalist, and Sagittarius is the philosopher, the adventurer. It's used to be called the gypsy, and I think that's politically incorrect now or something, but it's the gypsy, the wanderer, the person who is living life by exploring life, essentially. Sagittarius is about broadening our horizons, integrating foreign ways of living, doing, thinking, being into our life and relating to ourselves. So with Mercury retrograding, Mercury about the details and the mind, in Sagittarius about our beliefs and our philosophies, this is magical stuff for us. And I am excited for it, but I'm grateful for it, because I'm like, yes, help me to clarify and pinpoint my beliefs, because they have been shifting and evolving rapidly this year. And a lot of you are experiencing this. You've told me this. I see it day to day with clients, and I am amazed at the clarity of belief. And when I talk about belief, a lot of times, in order to clarify my belief or beliefs, I usually learn through contrast, meaning what I don't believe in, what I don't jive with, what hacks me off is usually what clarifies the polarity, which is my truth. So it doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel good, but it's also, it's awakening. And that's when there's that moment of, aha, epiphany. That's what this retrograde is about. And it's about ultimately a couple of things: expanding our consciousness, which as Mercury retrogrades, it's almost going to narrow our consciousness in order to expand it. So you may feel like the world is getting smaller. You're stuck in the details. You're stuck in the minutia of life. People aren't doing what you want. So you might feel like a super control freak. And if you already are kind of a control freak, your buttons are going to be pushed. But it's an opportunity to actually recognize what you're trying to control. And sometimes the way I conceptualize my controlling attitudes or behaviors is like a tight grip on the steering wheel. When I'm just like tense and tight, and I can just loosen my grip a little bit. Like I know how to drive. I've been driving for a while. I'm a pretty good driver. I like to drive, but sometimes I can have like a death grip on life. My jaw can be tense. My body can be tense. And when I am approaching life from intensity or tension, I am actually blocking my expansion. So notice your tension. Notice where tension is popping up for you, or where you're just hanging on by a thread, and it's actually not opening you up to higher, more expanded consciousness. It is keeping you small and limited. That is one piece of it. So it's like it's pulling back the rubber band on the like on the bungee. So it's going to create tension in order to propel further, faster, stronger. And the sign of Sagittarius is the archer. The archer is shooting arrows. And what the epiphany is here, or where you can experience epiphany, is hitting the bullseye. This is about not just arbitrarily shooting arrows, it's about hitting a bullseye. And the other thing that I feel like is truly happening is we are getting upgraded, and we are the technology. We all know how technology is advancing so rapidly. The technology in our biology and our physiology is being upgraded. So to me, it's like new technology is being turned on within us. And I am not reducing humans down to linear technology. I am saying we have all this brilliant biology that is being activated. It can feel like we're being squeezed or contracted. So notice where that's going on for you, and definitely figure out where this Mercury retrograde is occurring in your natal astrological chart, because the house in which it's retrograding in, and it could be just in one house or it could overlap to two different houses depending on your chart, but see what houses your beliefs are being shifted. And here's what I want you to look out for: dogma. Because the thing about Sag is, when Sag believes something, it can believe so strongly that it can become self-righteous and so stuck in its beliefs that it forgets to expand. And that's what Sagittarius is about, is like expanding beliefs, but they can get stuck in their beliefs where they become dogmatic or rigid and follow one science, one philosophy, one spiritual practice, and that's it, and forget to expand. And then they get squirrely. They get unhappy. They don't feel free and adventurous, which is what they're here for. So notice where you're dogmatic. Notice when you are saying, oh, you're wrong, I'm right, or that's wrong, or I can't believe this person said this. They don't know what they're talking about. Anything where you get obstinate or indignant, and you'll feel that in yourself because it's almost like a jolt. And Sagittarius is fire energy. So watch your tongue. Don't say something you're going to either regret or need to make an amends for unless you're prepared to show up and own your side of the street. And if you do and mess up and say something, then have the courage to say, you know what, I spoke too soon, or I was too harsh on that, or I was stuck in my own stuff. Tell me what you're thinking, or I'll listen to your point of view. It doesn't mean you have to agree with someone else's point of view, but can you listen? Can you hold space for them? So finding a sense of openness to new beliefs, new expanded consciousness, this is a time to push through, and it's a time of massive spiritual growth. So take some time. This is definitely a time where I will spend a lot of solitary time journaling, and journaling from the data of my day. What were my experiences today? Where did I show up and feel enriched and excited and passionate and full of life, full of vitality? And what pushed my buttons? Where was I struggling? Who hacked me off? And it's not about me pointing fingers. It's what was it about that experience that made me uncomfortable? So journal, look at your data, look at your day. And if you can use this time frame between the 25th of November through the 15th of December to really dig deep and clarify your direction forward, your beliefs, then guess what? You're going to be hitting bullseyes as you move forward into 2025. And guess what? 2025 is a year of where I want to have the right arrows. I want to have my training because I want to hit more bullseyes than feel like I am shooting arrows arbitrarily out into the sky. We don't have time to overextend our energy. The energy is intensifying and it is rapidly compounding. So the quality of our consciousness, our intentionality, and our interactions is going to be imperative, or we will feel and experience setbacks and destruction and disease in ways that we haven't quite learned lessons. So use this to strengthen your muscles around who you are, why you are, and what you believe. And then how are you demonstrating that? It's a very enriching time. Don't freak out about it. Use it to your advantage. Turn on new technology, expand your consciousness, and pull your bow and arrow back. and shoot for the bullseye in the cosmos. Be well, everyone. Thank you for joining me.